A guten Erev Shabbos, how are you all doing? You know, I had a Dvar Torah that I was going to give over, but somebody said, hey, take a look at this Dvar Torah from Reb Eli Hafstadter. He mentions you there. So I took a look at it, and I loved the Dvar Torah. I figured, let me switch gears, and let me pay him back a favor. He mentioned me, I want to mention him, and I want to tell you, he said it over beautifully, and you should check it out on Parshas with a Passion. The guy is great. But more than that, at the end of the Dvar Torah, he goes into saying, is he a Reb? People commented, maybe you don't have smicha, maybe you're this, maybe you should call you that. I don't know. But one thing I know, you are my Reb Eli because you taught me a Dvar Torah, and for that, you became my Rebbe, and I'm very much appreciated. He brings a Reb Moshe Feinstein. The Torah says, who are the descendants of Levi? The Pasuk says, who? Aaron and Moshe. The following Pasuk, the Torah reverses the order. Who? Moshe and Aaron. So which one is it? Do we go by the oldest to the youngest, from the Bechor Aaron to Moshe? Do we go from Moshe to Aaron? Which one? Says Rashi, it's not a contradiction. It's to teach us a lesson that both Moshe and Aaron are shkulim. They're equal in stature. As for Moshe Feinstein, but we know that Moshe Rabbeinu was greater than Aaron HaKohen. Moshe Rabbeinu was the greatest Jew that ever lived. The greatest Navi, the greatest Anav, Pel Daber Ba. He went up to Shomayim for 40 days. How could you say that Aaron HaKohen is on the same level as Moshe? Says Rav Moshe an amazing yesod that each one of us could apply in our own lives. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, says Rav Moshe, measures godless based on potential. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave each and one of us certain gifts, pros, positives. He also gave us negatives. How do we utilize our potential? If we utilize it to the max, then we reached godless. Moshe Rabbeinu and Aaron HaKohen were equal because they both utilized their potential to the max. In that, they were equal. Says Rav Moshe, based on that, we could explain one of the most famous Gemaras, probably my favorite Gemara. The Gemara in Pesachim and the Gemara in Baba Basra says a story where Rav Yosef got very ill and he died. But a nace happened that he had Tchias HaMeisim, he came back. And his father, Rabbi Yeshua, asked him, Ma Re'isa, what do you see up there? Tell me a little bit about your journey. And he says, Olam Hafuch Re'isi. I saw an upside down world, El Yoinim Lamata, V'Tachtainim Lamala. I saw the great ones on the bottom, and the ones that I thought that weren't so great were on the top. And his father tells him, says Rabbi Yeshua, no, my son, no. Olam Baru Re'isa. You saw the real world. It's Olam Ha'emes. Says Rav Moshe, the pshat is very simple. Sometimes you have an Eloi. He knows the entire Shas Popeh. But when he comes up to Shemayim, they're going to put him on the bottom because he didn't max out his potential. He took for granted, and people gave him a lot of kavod, and he sat in the Mizrach and Shul. But when he come up there, he's going to say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, why didn't you utilize your potential? Knowing Shas for you is nothing. Why didn't you write more Sfarim? Why didn't you spend more time learning and doing chesed? And then you have the guy that's not the sharpest tool in the shed. He doesn't even know a single Mishnah by heart. He doesn't know Halacha by heart. But he maximizes every minute that he has to learn the daf, to learn Torah, to do chesed, to think about HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That guy that we all made fun of, he was the joke of the shul, he's going to be the top of the top, way above the Eloi, because he maxed out his potential. What a beautiful word and idea. Reminds me of a story on another element. There was a very, very wealthy person who lost all his money. But this guy had a heart of gold. When he was wealthy, he gave out checks and he gave out money. And now that he was destitute, he was poor, he didn't have anything to give, he still kept on giving. He gave the sink out of his kitchen. One day, Aniyim came to his door. He gave the chandelier off his ceiling. The Rabbanim heard about this. They said, you cannot leave your house. You have to stay home. You're dangerous to your health. You won't have anything. But the Aniyim kept on knocking on his door until he literally didn't have a thing. One day, 2 Aniyim come to his door and they knock. And they start crying, we need something. He says, okay, let me look around. He looks and he searches. And then he remembered he hid, once upon a time, a golden spoon. He takes the golden spoon, but there's 2 Aniyim. He cracks the spoon in half, gives half to this honey, half to that honey. And with that, he was left with nothing. That night, he was nifter. This individual maxed out his potential. He gave every penny that he had, and then some, to tzedakah. What good is a golden spoon when you're in the grave? Baruch Hu enabled him at the last moment to be mekayim the final mitzvah that he loved of tzedakah, to go to the right place. We should all be zoicha to take our koiches that Baruch Hu gave us and use them to our potential, to utilize every moment of the day for the right thing, to max it out, to be the best that you can be, not your friend. Don't measure yourself how you compare to somebody else. Don't be jealous of the other guy. Take the koiches that you have and max it out to the fullest. Have a wonderful Shabbos.